Hello, y'all. This is Mrs. Robinson here again with part two of Your Nature of Science by Amoeba Sisters video recap questions. Well, answers to the questions. So, on the last video, we stopped at number 5. So, I will start with number 6 on this video. What does it mean if a science paper is peer reviewed and why is it significant? If a science paper is peer reviewed, the video talks to you about that means that it is reviewed by other scientists, maybe even scientists who have done similar experiments, and they are knowledgeable in the same content area. Observations and inferences are important in science. How would you explain the difference between the two words? Observations are things that it's data that you take in using your senses. So something you see, something you touch, something you taste, something you hear, and so on. Inferences are a little bit different. They're not just things that are there. This is the conclusion that you make about your observation. So, for example, if you see condensation on the outside of a glass, then your inference may be that the water inside of the glass is cold. So you're not seeing that the water in the glass is cold. You're seeing condensation on the outside of the glass, but you infer or you make the educated guess that the water inside the glass is colder than the temperature of the room. That's what created the condensation or the droplets on the outside of the water glass. Number 8, constants, which are also known as control variables, and a control are easily confused by students. So how can we explain the difference between those two words? Constants are things that we keep the same in every experimental group. A control is the experimental group that we do not apply the variable to. So, for example, if I am growing plants and I want to see how Miracle-Gro affects the growth of a plant, my constants would be the same plants, the same size plants, the same amount of sunlight, the same amount of soil, the same size of the pot. We want all of the conditions for the plant to be the same, except the Miracle-Gro. So my control group would be a plant that I don't give any Miracle-Gro to, because I need that control group with no Miracle-Gro to see how this particular plant naturally grows. Then my experimental groups will add the Miracle-Gro. So hopefully that explains a little bit in more detail the difference between constant and control. Number 9 is, why is a control group generally very important in an experiment? So using the same example from number 8, if we were to grow plants all with Miracle-Gro, we can't really make a good statement about how Miracle-Gro affects the plant unless we are comparing those experimental groups to a control group, a plant that has no Miracle-Gro. You need a point of reference. So you have to have that control group that is not getting the experimental treatment. And that's it. That was number 9. So hopefully this video helps you guys to understand what some possible answers or what I was looking for the answers to those questions. Remember that you need to review this to be successful on your Nature of Science test.